Hi, I'm Dave Barnes.
And I'm John McLaughlin.
And welcome to Dadville.
Dadville's a podcast where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of awesome dadding.
It's funny thoughts and deep talks.
So please, enjoy your time here in Dadville and enjoy this episode with...
Tony Hale.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
No, it's too late. I've hit record. It's all happening.
What
on earth?
How is this possible?
Son of a
what?
Look at your backdrop.
I know.
Oh, trust me, it's all smoke and mirrors. Because look, nothing. Nothing.
It's just a lot of sound panels.
A lot of sound panels.
I forget how loud you are, Tony.
Do you?
You're like, I really need to dampen.
Let me prove it.
I mean, just you got all the buffers in there. So are you in your place? Is this like
we're in like a rental place,
okay.
And then we're kind of redoing a house. I guess that's called renovating.
Yeah. Well,
what's the rent looking like? What are we talking monthly wise?
Thank you for asking. I would love to share how much I'm shooting money out of a t-shirt gun in this town. Because it is batshite crazy.
That is shooting money out of a t-shirt gun. It's such a clear, it's such a vivid image.
When we walk into the renovation, you're just going to see like bills on the walls. No, that's our wallpaper. Because I want people to know.
It's plastered.
Yeah.
You just plastered.
Yes.
It's like an art
installation.
installation.
Is my face really close?
No, it's
okay,
right
it
where
looks
we
great.
want it to be. It's exactly
right where it
where we
needs
want
to
it
be.
to be.
Your teeth look great.
Oh, thanks.
WL on the, or is it LW on your hat?
White ladies.
It's white ladies.
Yeah.
It's it stands for White Lion. It's Dad's.
Oh,
okay.
Dad's friends of mine that do this ice cream company in not Santa Barbara, Orange County, California. It's very good ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a link
For all
up we
our
need to
OC
make.
listeners.
How can I hide myself? I don't want to look at myself. Is it possible on this technology? No.
No.
You guys just
You
like
can
to look at
just
yourself.
you can just move the your window over so that, or are you in the middle of your screen?
I'm here. I'll do that. Okay. Anyways, well, another way to just narcissistically stare at myself.
I don't know. So I just want to say this really quickly because John and I find this fascinating.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say.
You know where I'm going with this, John.
My new album, or
if you think of migratory birds and the way that they move through this. No, we have had a few actors on Dadville, and there is a consistent thing, and it is only with the actors that we've had that they don't want to see themselves. And I would think if there was one job where you want to see yourself,
I would think you have been forced to do it for so long that you would be, used to it.
Can you walk me through that? Because this is a consistency.
Is it? Is it really?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think is we're better than you.
Okay. Sure. Sure. That's why we have you on.
First thought.
That's actually the first 3 points.
Yeah. Number 4 is I don't know. Maybe we stare at ourselves so much.
Yep.
We're the product. We're tired of ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think also, it's hammered into you as an actor to stay present. You got to stay in the conversation. You got to listen. You got to get your eyes off yourself. It's all that, because that's where the authenticity comes from. So that's why actors, the monitor for when we are performing is way back there. We don't look at ourselves. We don't want to look at ourselves.
Yeah.
So that makes it's like acting with a monitor right in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm acting today. This is not me. I'm
that
fully
was exactly
performing.
where that was going.
You're not going to see anything
I
authentic
look over
about me
and you're just
today.
like reading. You're like, that's a great question. So, okay, give me one.
This is 100% AI.
Let me get there real quick. Okay, yeah. Okay, ask me the question one more time. One more time for me. So Tony, we've had you on Dadville, and so when we knew we were
In
having
Birmingham,
you back,
by the way. Sorry, side note. Last time I was on your show,
that's
I was
right.
in Birmingham.
you were.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'm living in Birmingham.
Were you for a Sanford thing? I feel like, or were you all?
I think so. I was at my friend Lisa Cole's place. She's a photographer here. And I was like, guys, I'm doing this podcast. And they're a great guy, but I don't know where to do it. And so she let me come over to her studio and did it there.
Yeah, well, which has changed. Your environs have changed, and not for the worse. I want to say.
Thanks.
Was that? Would you say that was the moment when we were doing our episode that you were like, you know what, I want to live here?
Oh, thanks for bringing it up.
What is?
I was full gung-ho and I stayed another 2 years in LA because of this podcast.
That's okay. Well, I don't know.
So
how
it was
to read.
just the opposite.
I just wanted it to have some effect. I didn't care
Yeah,
what effect it had.
Oh, it had an effect.
Yeah.
It always has
we
an
don't.
effect.
We don't care what effect. We just want an effect. Okay, so we had you on in 2020. So what I want to do is just we always do the brag sheet, which is
Wow,
we talk about our
2020.
guests. I know it's been a minute. But so I broke the brag sheet because we've had you. So we don't want to rehash for the people who are ready. They just want to hear you talk, and here I am talking. But just the kind of to catch the people up to now, the 2020. Obviously, the roles you've had, just massive roles.
This has been heavily consolidated.
Heavily consolidated on Arrested Development. Gary Walsh on Veep. 2 Primetime Emmys for that, by the way, for supporting actor, which is incredible. Well done.
Thank you.
I didn't know this either. Frequent ensemble nominations for Arrested Development and Veep for SAG Critics' Choice.
Did not know that either.
Yeah, some of this, honestly, I'm just making up kind of right now. So, but I didn't know that you were on Sopranos.
I was a nurse oncologist on Sopranos
I did
in
not know that.
2000 maybe, and I was, as I've shared before, I have a little bit of an anxiety string in my life, and I was so nervous on that show that I was shaking because my nerves typically manifest themselves when my hands will start shaking, and I was playing a nurse oncologist, so doing the IV for Uncle Junior's chemo, doing the IV. And so here's this little nervous just shaking while putting the tube in his arm. And I was like, this is not going to work.
You're like, let's get one more, Tony. Just one more for us. Maybe one more for us.
Everything is normal except the hands.
Yeah, which could have been great because in the script it could have been like you knew he was like this scary guy. So you're like, I can't get it wrong. Yeah, That's how I would have played that. That's true. Archibald's next big thing, which my kids and you have been so kind to send us the voice memo years ago.
Thank you.
It was not just a book, became an animated series. Just tons of work. As John said, that's obviously the most consolidated I've ever done of one of these things. Now, since 2020, so we're catching us up to now. What I like to call the E&E, that's the evolution and expansion season.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've
you guys
had
have changed.
Well, we both moved when you did. We just kind of felt peer pressure from it. So, Mysterious Benedict Society happened. Won Children's and Family Emmy for that performance, which is great.
Thank you.
Movies 9 Days, Eat Wheaties, which is great. Being the Ricardos, Hocus Pocus 2, Quiz Lady, Unfrosted. Lots of things. Voice actor and animation, which has become a much bigger thing now, which is really fun. Forky and Toy Story, which is a small Pixar product.
Yeah, small budget.
Fear for Inside Out, another 2. I didn't know that you were in Harley Quinn, Rugrats, Ultron, which is to me so cool.
Oh, do your kids watch Spider-Man and Friends?
No, but now we
Iron
will.
Man and Friends. Sorry, it's Iron Man and Friends.
Yeah, and you're Ultron in that.
I'm Ultron. I talk like this.
Oh my gosh,
Amazing.
that is so cool.
Very dark.
Actually, I felt things when you did that. Was producer and creator, which we know just came out and is rave reviews, by the way. And I know it's kind of a Nashville, got a lot of Nashville ties, which is really fun. And then co-hosted the 2024 Emmy nominations, which is really fun. And then honored with Career Achievement Award, the Fairbanks Award in 2022. So a lot of things. Yeah, it was an internet thing. Check your emails.
I don't know if that's true.
It could be in your spam folders.
Texts or something.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't get an award for that.
Congrats.
I don't know what that
I'm
is.
pretty sure it was an Applebee's coupon, so it's probably in your email. Yeah,
Not even
that
a gift
would be
card. It's just a
heavenly.
discount.
It's just a discount. Yes,
So they want
just
you to have
10%.
some skin in the game.
I do love their cheese sticks.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Okay, so
here we are.
I wanted to start here with this because Tony, I'm not trying to be.
Well, first of all, I have an apology to make for you guys.
Please.
So we screened Sketch in Nashville at the beginning of the summer.
This. John and I tried to go,
and I was so in my anxiety brain that I forgot to let you guys know. So I hugely apologize about that.
Tony.
I know.
That's okay.
What an A.
I think we're good. That's all I
Forgiven.
wanted this to be, honestly.
That's what we needed.
Yeah. From
Good.
you, is to hear.
I just was on a roller coaster of anxiety this past summer and just
well,
wasn't
and you were
thinking.
because you were so involved in the whole process of that. Like, did you executive produce or produce it?
Produced
also?
it, and it took us 8 years to get made.
Yeah.
So one of my questions I was going to get to later, but let's jump to it right now, is 8 years. What does that even feel like with the arc of that? Are you involved the entire time?
Yeah. So do you guys know Seth Worley? Yeah. So
No.
He's a Nashville guy, right?
he's a Nashville guy. We met in L.A. when him and his family were living in L.A. and he's an incredibly talented writer director. And he kind of brought me this idea, and I was like, "Ooh, I really, really like this." This was 8 years ago, and it just took forever to get financing. It just took forever to get financing, and then we also pitched it as a TV show at one point, and then that didn't fly. We went back to an independent film, which it was always supposed to be, and just kind of many iterations of the script, all that kind of stuff, having producers attached, producers fall out, all that stuff. And so then finally John Irwin was kind enough to give us the money through his company for the film, and we shot it in Nashville. And then post and all that took forever with a lot more of a budget. So, independent film is no joke. Like it is, and you have to really love the piece that you're working on.
Yeah.
And we did. I just loved this story so much. So
it's such a unique story. I mean, and I think some of the 8 years I would imagine is you're trying to, because it's so unique. I mean, and also the
you're having
CGI,
to envision. Yeah.
It's super involved.
Yeah, and well, it came from Seth's personal experience because his sister was drawing these pretty dark pictures as a kid, and his parents took her to a therapist because they were nervous. And the therapist said, because it was a bullying situation, and the therapist said, "Did you want these things to happen?" And she was honest, and she said, "Yeah."
Wow.
And the therapist said, "Well, I think it's a good idea you drew them rather than did them."
Yeah.
And she says, because the worst thing you can do is have a blank page and it all festers in your head.
Wow.
And so it was just this whole thing of, and also at the time, because in the movie, my wife has died. So at the time she's dealing with grief. So it's a way that she was working out her grief. And me as the dad, I was compartmentalizing grief. I was not wanting to deal with it. I wanted to move forward. And so she taught us that we need to all process grief in different ways.
Is it playing a role like that? Is it fun for you to get out of sort of to get into just a different kind of character?
Just a non-emasculated character, you mean? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I mean,
that's kind of true.
Well, it's just such a different. I don't feel like it leans as hard on your comedic chops.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice just to have. I don't know. I mean, that character is as close to who I am. Honestly, I'm a dad. I deal with. There's this term. I don't know if I created this term, but I heard this term maybe or something. But it's called snowplow parenting, where you want to remove all the challenges from your kid's path because you don't want to see them walk through challenges. It's too painful. And I so resonated with this character because he thought he was making a good choice. Like, let's just move on. And I have a daughter, she's almost 20. And any time that I can try to fix a solution so she doesn't have to walk through that, I want to do that. But that's the worst thing for her.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that
So-
is tricky.
Did it feel like this role for you was almost a non-role because it was the most authentic to who you actually are in real life?
Yeah, I would say this. It was a very hard experience because I was producing and acting in it. So, rain delays, all that kind of stuff held a little more weight in my mind.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know, it was mixed because sometimes with comedy you can kind of hide behind all that kind of character.
I didn't know if that would be really easy or if it would be really challenging because it was close to who you actually are.
I kind of relate it to sometimes when I'm on talk shows, and those tend to be the hardest because I'm just myself. Mm-hmm. And I get more nervous about talk shows than I do about being in front of the camera because I can kind of hide. So this character was really close. And it's like, I had to ride the wave of, in the movie, I don't know if my kids are alive. My wife has just died. All those things you don't necessarily aren't necessarily highlighted in the comedy I've done. So it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, that is well. The movie is everybody's freaking out, and again, it's just such a creative. I just love.
Oh, it's Seth, man. Seth is so talented, and it was tricky because releasing it, we so believe in it, and we wanted it to be a real family experience and all this kind of stuff. But you put it out there, and then there's a huge portion of the faith community that thought it was demonic.
Oh, wow.
Sure. And you're just like, oh, come on, guys. It's unreal because these are the same people that let their kids watch crazy stuff. And this is dealing with grief, which is dark.
Yeah.
And the movie has its scary moments, but it's not like, demon hunters or whatever's out there, know. But it's like, not to say that's demonic, but they're just maybe I don't know. It got tricky, and that kind of is heartbreaking, because you so believe it, and you're like, just watch the movie and just let that go.
Yeah.
Do you feel like because you were so involved, and you're leading in it, you're producing it, and it took so long to make?
Yeah.
Did the release of it? Was it a different experience than your normal project where maybe you were acting and you're not so involved, and once it's out, you just let it go? Yeah. And I mean, thankfully, it's like, I think it has one of the highest ratings on Rotten Tomatoes that you can possibly have. I mean, the reviews are amazing.
Yeah, the reviews have been fantastic. 'Cause we went to TIFF last year, Toronto Film Festival, and that was a really great response. To your question, it has been a roller coaster of putting something out there, and it's very different than, because with acting, you're acting someone else's material. You're, and obviously I love it, and it's so fun, and I want it to continue, and I have great relationships. But this is like seeing it from the genesis of it, and it's it's a very vulnerable feeling. But like in a couple weeks we're going to show it because there's like this panel on grief, so they're going to show it at the school, and I get excited because watching it with people. Seth always gives the example that when Jurassic Park came out, he took every one of his family members, and that's a how he got to see it a lot, but B, he loved watching other people watch it. It was almost like, can you believe I just gave you this gift?
Totally.
Yeah.
And when I watch with other people, I know the parts that are coming. I know the excitement, and that kind of communal experience is fun.
John, I'm just going to say it. No, I'm going to say it.
Okay, go ahead.
You look like a lion. Your hair is just glorious. It's blowing in this chilly winter.
I really appreciate that, because I was going to ask you, like, what if I'm dealing with hair thinning issues, but I have no idea where to turn this mane for help?
Well, it's the main event, John, and guess what? I've got an answer for you. There's so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything.
I know.
That's exactly why I gave Nutrafol. Look,
of course.
It's not just hype. It's physician formulated, clinically tested, and even recommended by dermatologists.
Okay. First follow-up question. So does that mean with Nutrafol that it supports hair growth like from within, targeting root causes of hair thinning for visibly thicker, fuller hair, so I can show up as my best lion self every day?
Roar, that's it, John. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people.
That's amazing. And You know what? I can feel great about what I'm putting into my body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements.
That's right. Adding Nutrafol into your daily routine is so easy.
So
Purchase
simple.
online, no prescription required. Automated deliveries and free shipping put you right on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20% and have access to free one-on-one naturopathic doctor consults and a Headspace meditation membership.
Amazing. Guys, see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Now, for a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Dadville.
Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Dadville. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code what, John?
Dadville.
John, cooler temps are rolling in.
I agree.
The deep. And as always, Quince is where I'm turning for fall staples that actually last.
Of
From
course.
Cashmere, to denim to boots. The quality holds up and the price still blows me away.
Listen, I'm all about Quince, Dave. You know that. It has the kind of fall staples that I wear nonstop. Like super soft 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters starting at just $60.
Oh, it feels like listening to one of your love songs, John. I've been all over the denim worn stretch slim jeans. Love them.
Yep.
The denim is durable and fits right, and the real leather jackets bring that clean, classic edge without the elevated price tag.
Exactly. And Dave, Quince even has home goods, right? We needed some new silverware, as you point out every time you come over. And we got a Bistro 20-piece flatware set for only $170.
God, you needed 10 more of those. That's great. John, what makes Quince different? Would you tell me?
Okay, let me say, Dave, Quince partners directly with ethical factories and skips the middlemen, right? So you get top-tier fabrics and craftsmanship at half the price of similar brands.
Guys, keep it classic and cool this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince. Go to quince.com/Dadville for free shipping on your order and 365-day return.
You heard him right. That's QUINCE.com/Dadville to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dadville.
One of the things that I think is so, there's so many ways that music and I think movies are analogous. One would be, you spend this time making it. It's a collaborative effort. It's creative. It's all these things. But the difference, and I think, for the most part, is that when John and I, whoever make a record, we then go tour it. It's like, it's in our zeitgeist, in our brain or whatever for a while, because then you go to promote it. Something I've always thought that would be tricky if I was an actor is, you when you're done, you kind of like, it's done. Like you leave the set, it comes out, you do the press rounds and that thing, but then, you're moving on to the next thing. Yeah. It's got to be interesting though, for a project like this that you are so involved in, that it probably feels a little more like what we do. Where you're like, no, I'm still a part of this months and months later, because it is, I was so invested in it,
Yeah, it does. It does. It's acting in general is weird, because once you do a take, that's it. You can't, unless it's theater. Unless it's theater. So like, I'd love to get back on stage, because then you're not only are you able to refine it and every week try something or day try something new, but you're going from beginning to end with a full continuum.
Yeah.
Whereas in TV and film, it's obviously chopped up and you're doing different stuff. So I mean, it's this definitely having the ownership or just the attachment to this. I can kind of see it. I'm thinking about a lot more after the release.
And I think that would make it harder, because you were so involved with the making of it, and unlike when you're just an actor, if there's some kind of like problem with the financing, that's a problem for you to solve. You get involved. If there's like rain delays, there are decisions to be made. And then once it comes out, it's still like every other release. You can't really, apart from coming on your favorite podcast, obviously, and talking to your two favorite podcast hosts, you can't really do anything about it.
But I mean, here's the thing. The good thing is I'm not carrying it by myself. Like, there's great producers attached. Steve Taylor's attached to it. Dusty Brown. There's a lot of people that carry the weight. But yeah, I mean, it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's tricky because also you're coming together and this is why a director who has a very specific vision is so key, much like you guys have producers and the artists and stuff, very specific, because you're going to have a lot of people coming into the camp, a lot of people coming in, they're going to be like, we got to pick this up. And that visionary has to say, we can't half-ass this.
Yeah.
Like this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, and without that, it just becomes kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like with Sketch, with a lot of the voiceover stuff that you've done, I would imagine you. Now, keep in mind, I know nothing. Let's let that
we're
be
not going to
stated.
talk about ourselves like that.
Well,
but
no,
true.
I do agree, though. Yeah,
Yeah, I have to say that.
I would imagine all these projects you're working on while you're doing the work. You're not. It's the opposite of a play where like you're seeing it happen. In this movie Sketch, you're like, okay, let's say like action and pretend that there's this gigantic thing happening. And then maybe you'll see that in 2 years.
Maybe the eye line is right. We'll see that in 2 years. I will say I had experience with that because I was the bad guy on both Alvin and the Chipmunks and Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yes, you had to get used to it. Yeah.
And so I knew, like, because then be like, okay, the dog is this big. However, on Clifford, you had a big red puppet. So we had an idea of like how big Clifford was. And Alvin and the Chipmunks, they put these little stuffed animals on sticks and like ran them up your body and all this kind of stuff. So you could kind of see it. Whereas we didn't have that budget. So it was really Seth going, okay, Dave, who's the big blue monster, he's about yay haul. Everybody look to that, tower back there. So we all just trusted him, and he really has such a touch of the genius, man, Seth. By the way, I want to acknowledge that both John and I look like Princess Leia with our cinnamon buns on our ears, and you, Dave, have cool little headphones.
You don't even want to know that it actually has my handwriting of my name, and it's glittery.
So it's monogrammed?
And this is another you can't hide money, but you try, and you just push it deep in your ears.
Are those as powerful as what we have, would you say?
Some would say more.
Different powers.
Some would say more, and I'm one of those. All
right.
Tony, when I think of you, I think of a couple things, and these things have occupied my mind. Yeah, just two. One of them is that we didn't get the invite. I'm going to add that as a
You only think of one thing about me?
Well, no, it's two, but I added a third.
Okay.
One would be that still one of the I'm going to laugh when I say this because it makes me laugh so hard. One of the funniest things anyone has ever said on this podcast. And Tony, I'm not kidding. I think of this intermittently in my life. And if somebody brings you up, I will interrupt them and say, "Can I tell you one of the funniest
I know exactly what you're going to say. It's not even in our notes, and I know exactly what you're going to say.
I'm like starting to cry laughing because it makes me laugh so hard.
Dave Barnes' laugh is one of the best laughs.
Stop.
Because it sounds like you're either having a heart attack or you're laughing.
Oh, it's both. I lose years of my life every time I laugh. It's like a superpower. Is when you talked about your swimming meet, where you stopped in the middle of the swim.
Yeah.
And you just said, I don't think I want to do this.
I don't want to do this.
So for the listener who hasn't listened to this,
yes,
Tony Hale was in a swim meet. How old were you?
Well, I wouldn't even say I was officially in the swim meet.
Technically, you were in the pool.
I signed up and got in the pool.
Yeah.
With the only one wearing trunks. Everybody else had Speedos. I'm not about to outline my junk like the other ones did.
Sure. You weren't ready for that.
No. Yeah. Or maybe they weren't ready for that. But I get in the pool and everybody's starting and I stood up because, you can stand up in those pools. And my dad goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, because I said, "Why? I'm exhausted."
It's so tiring.
It's tiring. Why are we doing this?
And you just stood up and walked
and we're
out
talking
of the pool.
full flat, like next breaststroke, whatever it was, are going full force on either side. And I'm just standing there like some Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson movie, just staring.
breathing hard,
probably dreaming of my inhaler. I had 3 in my dad's pocket, probably.
it is something about that is like the Venn diagram of humor to me, and I think it's like
so great.
I think it's just the so many kids would power through that. Every other kid in that pool was miserable.
It's so it's
and
so
then you
telling
had something,
of
and you
your
was like, no, screw that.
No.
Because everyone wants to stop. I swam my whole life. It sucked the whole time.
Yeah.
You always want to stop.
I think
Always.
too.
Your body's in pain.
I think I feel the
Somebody
plight of
finally
the other
stopped.
swimmers.
I stopped.
Yeah, I just feel like
I
so
didn't
many of
just
them were like
stop.
doing that thing where they were kind of looking back, like as they're like, wait, what is he doing?
yeah, yeah.
Wait, can I do that?
Is that an option?
Yeah, I didn't just stop. I started and stopped pretty quickly.
Tony, I'm telling
Like,
you,
this repetitive action is not going
It
to work.
is one of my forget Dadville. It's just one of my favorite stories, and it's like it's become like an Ebenezer of humor, of childhood humor to me. It just sits in my
good.
brain as its own like pole
Good.
that I
do
reference.
have a compassion for. I mean, because there might have been a little bit of like, a quirk of like rebellion of like making a joke or something about it.
Yeah.
But I do. My dad says I was not a sports kid. I'm still not a sports kid. Having to get into football because we just moved to Birmingham, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
You
But
better learn quick.
my dad said he would teach baseball and look over, and I just was building a sandcastle.
Yeah,
on the ground.
yeah,
Or just staring at a cloud.
yeah.
Just checked out. And he would get so upset just because he was like, oh great, my kid is the one who's trying to, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I was just somewhere else.
He's
You were
like,
somewhere
you
else.
better be
But
good
your
at
eye lines,
voice
your
work.
sight lines were killer. You were just practicing for
Exactly.
Dave later in life. Little did
Exactly.
The second thing that I want to say that I've thought about, and I'm not kidding, Tony. I think about this a lot because I think it is such
I love that I occupy so much of your mind.
Well, you do this thing to me is really it's impactful to me. But so you've moved to Birmingham, and you and I have talked about this just over text or whatever. But I just think that is such an amazing thing. I think I have so much respect for it, and I think I find myself always really drawn to people who move in the different direction that an industry moves, or like that convention says to move. And so when you said, I don't know when that was, that you maybe even told John and I both you're moving, I just thought, okay, that's immediately fascinating to me because it's not
I think
someone.
it's inspiring.
That's it too. I think it sort of makes me, it encourages me, it gives me courage in some ways.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
so that's
It
why
makes
we're moving
me
down
feel
there,
not
Birmingham.
so locked into whatever
Yes.
my thing is.
But I think a large part of why I think it's so compelling is it's not someone who's on the other side of a career. It'd be one thing if you're like, I had a great run, I'm kind of reading the tea leaves in LA, and it just kind of feels like this is kind of a good time to throw the deuce, still do some work here and there, but I'm going to sort of like half retire to Birmingham. But that's not it. I mean, you've never been busier. You're working so much, you're still so involved in acting community. And so it's like some part of my brain is just like focused on that because it can't figure it out. And it's, as John said, it's so inspiring too. I just think it gives me a lot of courage as a creator to sort of go, no, you can do whatever with your life. Like it doesn't have to stick to this thing. And so I think that's one of the things I want to talk about with you, is sort of like what precipitated that move? Like what made you want to do that?
Well, first of all, it's very kind of you to say all that. Very kind. And also what doesn't inspire you from me. Let's just acknowledge that.
True.
I mean,
That's a
it's
fair
one
point.
of many things. No, I'm kidding. But that's really kind of you to say. I mean, I wish I could say that. I think it was just, let me say this. All of us are married. I'm married. And we definitely, my wife and I hit a place where we were both on the same page about it. Because other times we've been on different pages about it. Like one of us kind of wanted to check out, and then the other one's kind of, I think we need to stay, and then it swapped. And then this was a time when we both were on the same page. And
which is a powerful thing in marriage. I mean, that can't be overlooked, especially a decision like that when both of you go, oh my gosh.
Yes. Because when we moved to LA, my wife was a makeup artist on SNL. She loved New York. And I booked Arrested Development in 2003, and I was like, I think we got to move to LA. And she was not happy about that. Now, we became comfortable with LA, but it took some time. So we're both on the same page about this. And my daughter graduated high school, so the timing was, we wanted to stay for her in high school and then leave. And honestly, for me, this is just for me. Because some people, we had been in kind of urban centers for 30 years, whether it be in New York to LA. Mm. And for me, maybe it's because of my anxiety, but it's like you're kind of in this heightened state when you're there. Like it's always kind of like walking outside and something's on the street or the noise or just this kind of height. Or you go to a party and it's like there's like really extreme careers and all this kind of stuff. And you're kind of like, what's coming at me? And I just turned 55. And at the time, no, I just turned 54. And so I was like, for me, my normal cannot be at this heightened state. I've got to start detoxing down to where I'm just life and simplicity and ordinary things become as heightened as these kind of dramatic things that I'm around all the time. And it was just, and by the way, it hasn't been easy. Like when your nervous system is that trained to that. It has taken a good year and continued to kind of detox down from that. Now the business also has been in a place because of post-COVID where I can have meetings on Zoom. I can, if I need to audition, I can audition on Zoom. I can meet directors. That was not the case pre-COVID. So that's helpful. And my last 5 or 6 jobs haven't even been in LA.
Wow.
So there was a lot of factors that was kind of helping make the decision. But just like the main one was just back to simplicity for me, Now
I've never thought about that. Just the low level.
Yeah,
of
there
being
are.
in
I will say there are things that are growing pains, big time for me. Like when you're in LA, much probably like you guys in Nashville, you're surrounded by people who are doing the same thing as you're doing.
Right.
You know, I'm surrounded by people that are used to a freelance life. For 30 years, I've never known what the next gig is going to be.
Yeah,
you know, I'm, all of a sudden friends are gone for 2 months and then friends are back and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, whereas down here, people are used to like a 9-to-5 job and they always ask the question, like, what do you do during the day? Right. And I'm like, I don't know. Like you kind of make structure where you don't have structure.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's I knew I was doing this podcast. I worked out this morning. I do have a voiceover this afternoon. Or if it's not that, I'll work on these rope bowls I make or whatever. But like I'll have meetings. We're developing scripts. We're developing projects. But you kind of make structure in a very unstructured world that people in LA are very used to. Yeah. Whereas down here, it's kind of a little foreign to them.
So is that pace of work, is that like, if you're making rules for yourself as you're detoxing from the last 30 years of pace of life, are you allowed to work at that clip still? Or are you like, no, in 2 years from now, I would like to be doing, one less thing or whatever?
I would say, like, for instance, I just did this job in Syracuse. And when you do jobs, you kind of get back into that pace. It's like you're on set, you go home at night, you're looking at the script the next day, you're talking to the director, you're meeting cast. So you kind of get into that pace. And then you come back home. And it's more like, whereas in LA, you'd come back home to the kind of same, for me, the same kind of surrounded by people in that same pace of life. Down here, I'm kind of coming back to a resting place that is a little more simple. So at this age, that's what I needed because I love sets. I love being in that pace. But when I go back to my resting place, I need it to be a little kind of slower.
Yeah, like more of a discrepancy between those sort of heart rates. Right. And you know what's funny, by the way, I had never really thought about this. I met with a buddy of mine who's a business coach, and we were kind of having coffee, and he was asking me all these random things about my, just like what it's like to be a musician. But he said something I thought was really interesting because he was like, what do you think is like the most important thing to you about sort of your work-life balance? And I was like, man, autonomy is a big thing for me. Like ability to move at the pace I want to or whatever. And he said something I thought was really interesting. And because I kind of said that sort of like shameful. I was kind of like, I'm just, because if you compare me to most men my age, they're locked into these things and they're whatever. And he was like, man, that's actually kind of a superpower. And it really took me aback because I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, he said, myself included, most men, because that's what I am, he said, wouldn't know how to do that. It would really be hard. It'd be hard for men to go, okay, Tuesday I have these things, Wednesday I have nothing, Thursday something in the morning, and then, okay, next week is full, and then the next week. And it really helped. It was kind of a grace to me, honestly, because it helped me realize, like, there are some weird strengths to being able. Yeah. And I think to your point, Tony, it'd be interesting, especially going from, again, because you're right. I mean, in Nashville, John, whoever, there's a lot of my friends, if I can go like, hey, you want to grab lunch today? And they're like, yeah, I can meet you. A couple hours, cool. Because we have sort of a similar pace and structure of life. But I guess the thing I would ask you, being in Birmingham, have you found that to be lonely? I mean, do you find yourself kind of going like, your friends, you're texting and like, bro,
let's get into it.
You're going to work again?
You were
today?
At work yesterday?
Or I just sit next to them at their desk and I say, what's that? Is that
this is character study?
Wait, that sharpens pencils? What? Are you effing kidding me?
You're like, this isn't. Oh, these things work.
I push a button and a paper comes out of that machine.
This isn't like a set where nothing works. Like
exactly
when I put that in there,
guys. The water came out of that sink
for real water.
For real's water.
But like, has there been some sense of? I mean, I would imagine that'd be a pretty big adjustment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think. I will say at this age, I think it's generally tough to meet new friends.
For sure.
And we have met a lot of great people, and it takes time. It takes like whenever you move places, it takes time. I really do miss my friends in LA a lot, but it's just we got to give it time. Just like we gave LA time, I gave New York time. I've got to give this time. Yeah, but it is tricky. It's tricky.
What's the response been from kind of your inner circle out in LA? Are there other friends of yours that are like, well, I've kind of always been thinking of moving to Omaha. Yeah, maybe I can do it.
I mean, I don't know if it's been that, but they were everybody was bummed. Like we were sad. I feel really bad for and it wasn't easy on my daughter. My daughter goes to college. Yep. Her childhood home, we had to sell it. It's like, and it kind of broke my heart because she went to LA to visit her friends. And that's the thing. You remember in college, you would come back for Christmas and Thanksgiving and see your pals, and she's now coming to a totally different place. So she went to LA and I said, hey, sweetie, did you drive by our house? And she goes, no, it just made me too sad. And I was like, oh, okay, well, then just put that in the therapy file of another thing I'm adding to your layer. But it's, that's hard. That's tough. So I forgot your question, but yeah.
And I think just the loneliness. I think I would struggle with just community, but I think too, just knowing, because some people don't like this, and you may be one of those. Because more people than I think in Nashville actually don't like this. I do, but like being able to talk about work in a conversational manner with a lot of people. Like some people I know are like, I don't want to do that. Like I work and then I want to not talk about work. But for me, I like, what have you been working on? What have you been listening to? How are those shows this week and whatever. But if you, I'm assuming not as much of your common vernacular now from day to day. Is that something you miss or do you like that?
Do you know what? Actually, that's a really good question because you're one good question. Finally.
I have one a show.
But
John wrote it.
I think that tracks.
You didn't do it word for word. But
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Next time.
We can fix that.
It's like an Aaron Sorkin movie where it's like word for word.
That's right.
But oh shit, I already forgot your question. What was it?
Well, just the comment, like being around business.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what's interesting is, now that I'm thinking about it, in LA, you have your really good friends. You don't really talk about your work that much. I don't know if that's because, I don't know why that's because, but it's not necessarily, because it's maybe because each relationship, there's a danger of it becoming transactional.
Yeah.
So you always want to protect that it doesn't become transactional.
Yeah.
So actually, if anything, down here, people are very curious.
Oh, wow.
About your work. So it's kind of fun to talk about it. Like I was exercising today at this, I go to this exercise place, and we sign our name, and this woman comes up to me and goes, "You should have put," she goes, "You should have put Buster Bluth on the list." And I was like, yeah, fun. But that's like, that's not. It was sweet, and it's it's fun to like. I don't know, talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not such a taboo, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah,
to talk about
I always find that like I am really fascinated with people who have, a more traditional 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And I find that my friends who do, which aren't that many, because in Nashville most people, like Dave was saying, don't really have. They have a non-traditional job like we do, but
yeah.
The ones that do, I'm like, I actually do want to know, like,
yes,
that little thing you just said,
yes,
about the spreadsheet. I'm like, I don't know what that is. What do you do?
Thank you.
And I feel they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to talk about it, and that's fine. But I feel like a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they think, well, this is boring.
No,
but I'm like, it's what you do. More than anything else that you do.
Yeah. And don't you have this? I want the simplest questions, but I'm afraid to ask them, like, how do you get the number in the grid?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
like you haven't, I mean, this is stuff I should know.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody talks about Excel. Everybody talks about, I'm like, what? How does that add up? And where do I push return?
If you drop an acronym on me that is business related, you would think you just told me the secrets to the galaxy. Somebody like, well, I had to drop that, OFK into it, and I'm like, stop! Please tell me exactly what that means.
I don't know what,
because that is amazing.
Yes.
I'm like, oh,
because I'm still in WordPerfect brain from 1989
with the little pen that would be like, are you sure this is the word you want to use? Remember that little guy that would pop up? The little what's the word I'm looking for? The little paperclip. Remember him? The
yes.
Paperclip?
Oh, yes.
Or did you really mean,
sticky note?
I forgot. That was like a little. That was an old school Forky.
That's true.
It was exactly that.
Do you know what I was thinking when you were talking about kind of people that are in the 9-to-5, and because they are, and it's true. Like they'll say to me, "Gosh, I don't know if I could do it."
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it, and we're so used to the freelance, like. I genuinely have no idea where the work is going to come from.
Yeah.
I'm renovating a house, so take me out.
Yeah.
But but then again, because people say I don't know how I can do it, but there's that part of me, and I never say it, but there's that part of me that's like, the truth is, you don't really know you're going to have a job.
That's right.
Next year.
Right. That's exactly right.
And there is kind of this kind of blind faith that's put into these steady gigs or jobs that people have, when in actuality life is so chaotic, you really don't know you're going to have that.
Well, and that's where it actually, it's so funny you said that is where actually ours becomes a superpower. Because if you really zoom in tight on anyone's life, and which is terrifying, and thank goodness God tells us not to do this, but when I really start going like, what's going to happen tomorrow, that is where we actually have a superpower that most don't. Because it's like, I don't know. And if you really had to sit with somebody like, hey, you realize you could be fired tomorrow? They'd be like, oh my God, what would I do? I'd be like, I'm kind of fired after every gig. I mean, it's like,
oh, totally. Yeah. We're used to the walk of faith.
That's right.
I'm very, very, very used. And I'm used to, like, when I'm on a job, I got to wake myself up to that job and be present in that job because I have no idea what the next one's
and
from.
I told John, this was something that was so fascinating to me. And I know it might have just been a joke in passing, because you're funny and we're both funny, and that was such a common vernacular between you and I, me being one of your funniest friends. But when you texted back about, I think I said something to the effect of like, I know you're busy, thanks for the time to do the Dadville. We're excited about it. And you said something about always looking for a gig. And it really struck me because I was like, yes, that could be funny because obviously you're funny.
Yeah.
But is there some part of that you do feel, because again, and I know you get asked this probably a million times.
No,
but
I love it.
The way that I perceive your career is, it's like, I literally can't think of someone that I think is busier. I feel like I see you all the time. If it's a movie, it's a TV show, it's your voiceover. It's and it's fun because I'm like, oh, that's Tony. Like, look, there's Tony. But and so it may be like if you're shopping for Van, all you see is Vans. It's like if you see your friend, all you see is
yes.
But because I know you, I see you more, or I notice you more. But I do think of you as successful, and you're working and you're going, but is there some part of you that text is true where you're kind of like, oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Always. I think it's Dustin Hoffman who said maybe that every job he's on, he thinks it's going to be his last job.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the time when my wife should step in and go, let me tell you the real story. It goes on BTS.
Yeah.
Because it is very, And it's not just that. You mentioned it before, and it's true. Not only do you not know where your next job is, but when you guys might not experience this. I experienced this so much. There is so much rejection in my business. You are signing up for a career of somebody saying, not you. Yeah. And so when you, for 30 years, you want a job or you're up for a job and then somebody else gets it, it is such a part of the business of just, you're constantly either they want you and they went out to a bigger name, or they want you and they went for a completely different type. Or, I mean, it's so you're so used to that rejection. So there's something in you that's like, well, I'm kind of waiting for someone to say, like, I think I told this to you guys maybe, but when Toy Story came out, and I'm not kidding, it wasn't until I heard my voice in the trailer that I thought that I wasn't cut. Because in my head, and this has happened, by the way, before with animated movies, because they can replace your voice easily, whereas on camera they can't do that. So I was like, oh, they're going to get a bigger name. And when I heard my voice in the trailer, like 2 months or a month and a half before it came out, I was like, okay, I'm locked in.
Wow,
that had me, because you just don't know. Yeah. So it kind of caters into that. Ooh, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Like a little bit of that anxiety.
There is something that is so akin to part of my career is songwriting for other people, and I can't tell you how much that is so the same thing. And because you can. I mean, that's the joke in Nashville in the songwriting community, because that's a part of my life too. Is we love the song, they're going to record it. She loves it. She went in the studio to record it. And you're like, and the smart people, like you're saying, I mean, John and I, you who've done these jobs for a long time, you learn the hard way, like, great, sounds great, can't wait to hear it. Because the minute I go, oh my gosh, they're like, oh, Dave, so sorry. I mean, one of my career jokes, and it's actually back here on a plaque, but there was a song I had recorded by a country artist named Billy Currington. It was one of my first big cuts that I got. Was on the front sticker featuring these sones, was one of my songs. And I mean, I was like, let's go. Here we go. Buy the boat, babe. We're good,
Exactly.
And it was my first brush with this. Hey, Dave, we're doing a different single second when it's going to be the third. We're on the third single. It may, and then it just disappeared. Yeah. And I remember being like, but it was on the front sticker. And so you learn as a songwriter, like it is not until, I mean, I had a buddy of mine send me a video of him singing, this is years ago, the song in the studio. And I was still like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
And also, this is sad to say, but words don't mean anything.
They don't. Yeah. They don't.
Hollywood there's a lot of words, and you just have to go, oh, like your point, like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's we'll see. We'll see. That's really nice.
You would know this way more than we would, but I think it is the same in both scenarios with the album that Dave's talking about and some role. There are a million reasons why you might not get that role. Yeah. It's not that you didn't do a good audition. No, you may have crushed it, and there may be a budget thing, or there may be the director loves you, but like the studio feels like they got to go a different direction. It could be so many different things.
And you have no control.
Oh gosh,
I had an experience. Well, I had many experiences. One, I remember I was auditioning for this movie. I won't say the movie, but I was auditioning for this movie, and the director stood up in the audition room, started clapping, and said, oh my gosh, finally. Okay, when I book you, so that's what he said. So of course, I this was years ago, and I remember calling my wife and being like, oh, well, we need to get a sitter because we're going to Vancouver for 3 months. They obviously found somebody else. And I was like, ouch, that. And then I was attached to this movie over Christmas. I remember it was during Christmas, and I was attached to this other big movie. And this was a go. It was a go. And then something happened in the world that they couldn't shoot in the specific area, and the entire thing was canceled.
Holy cow.
And it's that kind of thing like, wow, until I'm on set, until I've signed the papers.
Yeah.
And even that, you hear of movies that have been shot, and then somebody gets canceled or whatever, and it doesn't get released. I mean, you have no idea. That's why I go back to, which is I suck at, staying present. Just staying present.
John, it's near Crema, and people be shopping. I mean, be shopping. And if you've shopped online, which I don't know if you have, chances are you've bought from a business powered by Shopify. John, you know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout?
Okay, Dave, picture this, right?
Okay,
you're lying in bed, scrolling through this incredible website that you found, putting items in your cart left and right. Then, right, you hear Annie coming, and you know you got to act fast,
I gotta go.
Your wallet's all the way in the kitchen, Dave. I mean, in your palatial house, that's like half a mile away.
I mean, I'm going to have to sprint.
Then you see that purple shop button.
Here we go.
It's got all your payment and shipping info safely stored, so you're good to go. Purchase made, off to bed.
I'm asleep before she even gets in the room.
That's right.
I'm not really asleep, but I'm faking it. That's Shopify, John. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes it incredibly easy to start and run your business. By the way, Annie got an alert on her phone on how much I spent, but it was okay because it was gifts for her.
Oh, yeah. That's Shopify.
Yep.
It's the commerce platform behind 10%. That's right, 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. From household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started.
Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style, and forget about the code.
Forget about that code. What? Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics to more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers.
If you want to see fewer carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head on over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Dadville.
Go to shopify.com/Dadville. Tell them one more time, Dave.
I will. Shopify.com/Dadville. Oh, the weather out. Oh, I don't think we can sing that for rights.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
true, 'cause
Well,
the
they know.
budget's
Yeah.
tight.
It's tight.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll say it for free. Dave, when it's cold mornings and the holiday plans, I just want my wardrobe to be simple.
It's usually so complicated, John.
I know. I want simplicity when it's like holiday times.
Yeah.
Stuff that looks sharp and feels good, right? Things that I will actually wear.
that's right.
And for me, that's Quince.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and the holiday bonus, Quince pieces make great gifts too.
That's right. You're right about Quince being right and great for gifts. Not just clothes. Quince also has anything for home, bath, kitchen, or travel.
That's right. This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with Quince. Like $50 cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury, and wool coats that are equal parts stylish and durable.
None of those things have been said about me before, John. And John, their denim nails the fit and everyday comfort at a fraction of what you'd expect to pay.
Now, Dave, question for you. What makes Quince different?
I knew you were going to ask me that, John. Quince partners directly with ethical factories and skips the middleman, so you get top-tier fabrics and craftsmanship at half the price of similar brands. That's just me summing it up.
Well, Dave, you got it right. That's the right answer. Now, give and get timeless holiday staples that last this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/Dadville for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's almost every day of the year, John. That's QUINCE.com/Dadville to get free shipping and 365-day returns.
Also, Dave, I'm surprised you didn't mention this, but Quince is available in Canada now.
It's quince.com/Dadville. Well, you know, I look back at seasons like where I've been struggling with anxiety, and I'm kind of in one now. And it's so funny if I trace it. Yeah. I just signed a new publishing deal that I'm so excited about. But now I'm thinking about those things again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to your point, I just think that's a very astute observation you said about city centers. And I think it applies. It's like in this scenario, which the way I would apply it is, what are these things that just kind of kick my heart rate up a little bit without me knowing it? And I think to your point, one of the things that's tricky about what we do is that there is this sense of like, you just don't know, you know? And so I think as much as I'm, you know, me, you, John, all these people that do these careers, you get good at it. You don't ever escape this thing that's just this, there's just this low level hum of like, I don't know, man. And I think knowing I'm going to start writing songs for people again, it's like, boy, just get ready for all that rejection again, because
no, sure,
it's just it's what you said. It's just rejection after rejection, and then that worked, okay, and then more rejection, and it's
you're
not
kind of
fun.
stepping on the hamster wheel again.
Yes,
a little bit, which is tricky. But the beautiful thing is, I'm very curious about your journey with this next thing, because even though you're going to struggle, I'm going to struggle in the next thing. There's a little more growth,
absolutely,
from the last time that okay, I see that red flag.
Yeah, I'm
not gonna carry that.
Yeah,
and even though this last job I had, I still found myself falling into some patterns, but it was a little better.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Well, I think too. I wonder. Well, go ahead, John. I've been talking too much.
No, I was just gonna say I'm 43 now. And I know if I were in Hollywood, I could play much younger. But at this point,
you are really.
Why
is every high school drama comedy not calling you?
I know.
John has been getting the Zac Efron parts,
and then I would get the quirky vice principal that's like, "You guys, what are you doing again?
If you don't buckle down,
Jonathan, get out of the locker room.
Is that a cigarette?"
Exactly.
No, I was gonna say at 43, I do feel like you're saying, Tony, like I do feel like I weathered these storms much better, but the way that I weather them is not the way that I thought I would have grown when I was 23. I don't feel like I have got to some place where like they don't bother me. It's more like I just can't get worried about that thing again.
Yeah.
It's more like this is the 49th time that I have seen this red flag. I can't get that worried again,
I think it's something also to acknowledge is I think it's also healthy. When I talk about my codependency and all this kind of stuff and I make jokes about it, there's the other side of it. It's like, Tony, you're thinking about others. You're caring about others. And it's like when you're getting nervous on your job, that also shows that you really care about your work.
That's right.
And like if I'm going on stage and I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack, it's because I care.
That's right.
So there's always that kind of, it's not all awful. It just comes from a good place. It's just gotten a little off the track.
Well, and it's a common thing in like artist creative circles to sort of be resistant to any kind of growth when it comes to anxiety and stuff like that and the quirks. Because it's like, well, what if that's part of the magic sauce of whatever I've got? Then what if I lose it, and then I'm healthy, and I have no work?
Yeah,
gosh,
totally. You don't want to be completely grounded.
Well, nobody wants to hang with that guy.
Nobody wants that guy.
No.
Don't give me a bunch of songs about how I'm fine with what life happens.
Everything's
it to me.
pretty good.
I'm well adgested.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do want to ask you about. You mentioned earlier that your daughter Loy is she's starting her sophomore year of college.
Yeah,
is that right? Mm-hmm. So this is new empty nester phase.
Yeah,
and I think about. I actually was thinking when we interviewed you last, you were kind of in the phase where I'm kind of am right now. I have two girls. And I think about empty nest transition so much. I always have thought about it. I think it's, it's teetering on healthy and unhealthy, of course.
Sure.
But I am so worried about, I just want to see these girls be able to function in the world. I just want them to be able to live.
Sure.
And B, I don't want them to leave and then Amy and I have that classic, we turn and look at each other and we're like, I forget who you are.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that I think because I've been so neurotic about this.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will stave that off. But what's that transition been like for you guys?
We are loving it, but at the same time,
I like whatever's about to follow. But
at the same time, we're in therapy 24/7. No,
you have a live-in therapist.
Exactly. Oh, that's why you guys
Donnie,
moved
come
there
here.
because the therapist is there.
At the same time, I guess it's just like everything. There are times when we look at each other and it's like, who are we?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You again, and we have to work on this, and we got to go out, and we have to, also we're in a new place. There's been a lot of transition. So we have to, we're for each other, because in times of stress, it can seem like we're against each other.
Yeah.
You know? I guess what I'm saying is you're going to have those times.
Yeah.
Rather than be afraid of them, they're going to pop up, but
Right.
you're going to, again, back to that care thing, you're going to care so much about the relationship that you're going to work on it. My thing is, what I always go back to is it will really mess with your identity. You know, like, especially me leaving LA, especially my daughter going, because I can't ignore the fact that so much of my identity is wrapped up in being a dad. So much of my identity is wrapped up in being Tony the actor. And it's like, and not beating myself up for it, because that's a very natural thing, but it's like, okay, when I'm 85 and if I have given too much investment into that identity, and all that goes away. I mean, my daughter's not going to go away, but it's like she's going to be living her life, and the acting is not going to be as, maybe good as it is now. Who am I?
Yeah.
You know? And that was a huge part of moving back here, because it's like, my definition is, not to sound super spiritual, but it's like, God loves me. I am a human being on this earth. I love people. I can serve people, whatever. It's like finding the core of that, rather than how I have, very naturally, just because of circumstances, can define it other ways.
Right.
Yeah. That is, John and I have talked about this amongst each other too, but I don't know why empty nesting has been on so much top of my mind too. Maybe it's your fault, John. But I do think
it's always John's fault.
Well, welcome to Dadville. So with her being in school, what is y'all's relationship change? Like, what does that look like now as a dad?
Yeah. What does it look like? Loy and I have the best time. I love hanging out with her. Like, we always go to dinner and we chat, and I kind of like to hear where she is. But on a day-to-day basis, she always calls my wife. Like, which I love.
Yeah,
like, she's very honest with her, which I'm so grateful for. Whatever's happening in her life, she'll call her. And then
you're just hoping that the thermostat breaks.
Thank you. Like, she called me with how she wants me to book a ticket for something. A plane. Or she called me yesterday because her car died, and she needed someone to jack, she didn't know how to jack the battery and stuff like that. So and then I'll be hearing in the other phone her just yapping on my wife about other stuff, and I'm like, hello. But when she's home, that's when we tend to we'll go out for coffee and we'll chat, and we went to the Beyonce concert together. All this kind of stuff, that's where we kind of connect.
Yeah, that is a transition I'm excited about, but I'm dreading isn't the right word, but I just think.
Wait, so how old are each of yours?
They stair step. So we have 8th grade, 7th grade, 5th grade, 4th,
5th grade,
5th to 5th, and then.
But age-wise, I'm surprised you didn't go with age.
Sorry, I mean, why did I even start?
They go 13, 12, 11, 10, 9.
Okay, yeah. You guys are busy. That's you guys are those busy. I will say the if there was a heartbreaking time for me, it was not. I did cry when I dropped her off at college, and my daughter. I don't think my daughter ever seen me cry. She was like, "Uh-oh, what's happening?"
Are you researching for a role, Dad?
He's like, "Uh-oh." But when she was little and stopped wanting to hold my hand, and when she that middle school which I get. The cool stuff came in, and she didn't want. That was like, okay, that definitely stung.
Yes.
That stung.
The ship is starting to jettison a little bit.
My youngest just kind of stopped doing that. Yeah, how the younger one is always older. I don't know how to say this, but the younger one is as old as the oldest in the house. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my Livy would kind of she stopped doing a lot of those kind of little kid cuddling things.
Yeah.
But she would always, when we would walk to school, she would always, when we were crossing a street, would just grab my hand. like mid conversation would just grab my hand, and I would be the guy walking so slow across the crosswalk,
Of course.
and I'm just like feeling her hand in my hand.
I know.
And she doesn't do that anymore.
No,
that doesn't happen anymore.
You know, it's funny. Xana, my daughter, had a friend, and ever since this conversation, it clicked something in her brain. But she has. I think this is the cutest thing ever. Her friend, every day she comes downstairs, and she's in the 5th grade with my daughter. She jumps into her dad's arms because they've said you never like. There's going to be a day when you don't want to do this. And so it's a sweet little father-son moment, or daughter, where it's like, okay, this is like, today, it's not today. And something in Xana's brain clicked. And so now she does that with me. We won't do it every day, but she'll always, so it's like it's made her more affectionate that way, where she's she'll grab my hand more. And I'm like, thank you for whatever happened in that moment. And being the only daughter, she's sandwiched by brothers. So I think she feels more of that sort of heart level stuff than my 2 retrobates do. Prisoners. What did I say? Sorry.
Let's go to prisoners.
Yeah. So
I would always sing to Loy when she was little. Right before she went to bed, I would sing the song like "I'm so proud of you," and then she didn't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna go take my life in the bathroom. See you never.
It's so rough.
I'm just imagining, like, every now and then she picks up the phone at school and you start saying, Dad, no. And I'm so proud.
On speaker.
Just like, as you're crying, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud.
So selfishly, I always, whenever I'm talking to a guest who has been through the middle school years, because we're in the thick of it.
You are.
I am always looking for any kind of guidance or whatever, but is there anything that you look back on, and it doesn't have to be specific to those years, but just in general, that you're like, man, I'm glad that I kept doing that thing, or I'm glad that I pushed through in this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, man, I think I have regrets. My one regret, I remember this one time, and I've told this to my daughter so many times recently, and she's like, Dad, please stop asking forgiveness for this one time. Because I got really angry at her for something so stupid. And I just got kind of like, I was just like, don't. I was just like really angry. And I just remember her face in that moment, just this kind of like shocked face. And I think it just plays in my head. And so like 2 or 3 times I'm like, hey, Lloyd, do you remember this time? She's like, Dad, if you mention that time again. Because it's me trying. It's my own guilt.
Yeah,
she's like, now the damage is this.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's the iteration.
You're bringing it up. You're opening the wound. But I look back on that time, and I mean, obviously, I would, if I could go back. It's back to that present stuff, because everything in me is thinking about work. It's thinking about how am I going to fill 5 hours with this child.
Yeah,
it's thinking all this kind of stuff. Rather than just, and that's, I mean, honestly, you hear the story over and over. That's why grandparents love kind of that second chance, because they're a lot more present, all that. But I do think Loy and I just did a lot, like we would do stuff together. Like we would go, even if it was not like that, like learning experience, like we would literally go to the mall all the time, and we would just walk around the mall. I genuinely think she learned to walk on a playground mall experience than like the grass, because we just would go that, and I don't. That's what I get so excited about that. Like to this day, we'll just like walk around a mall. I don't know if that's answering your question.
Yeah,
but
no, it is.
I do look back because those middle school years are a roller coaster. And the more that I was just like, this has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with me. And also, my wife and I would always remind each other, just think of how you were in middle school. I was I was hormones in a nose. I literally had one large nose and was just a walking hormone, and just smelled and just didn't know.
Hated swimming.
It was like
so
I was
much.
I was a nose on a stick. And I was so bullied and didn't know who was my friend. And I think, good Lord, somehow I got through that.
Yeah.
Somehow by the grace of God, I got through that. And she's going through her own stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
You're a legend, Tony. Thank you for hanging. Because I know you have another.
I was
workout.
really looking forward to this because I missed you guys because I haven't seen you in so long.
It's been
and now I'm only 3 hours from Nashville, so I can do a little road trip.
Don't you?
And we can hang out and go to that place, that Cowgirl. What is it called? It's like cow. It has great pizza bites.
I feel like this is a strip
Cowgirl
club.
Pizza Bites.
It's Cowgirl. It's Cowgirl Pizza Bites. No, it's outdoors. And
that hotel that's also a.
I don't think it's a hotel. I think it's in East Nashville, and it's cow something.
Urban Cowboy.
Is it? Are you making a joke?
This is going to be the rest of the.
Like I said,
podcast.
I feel like this is a strip club.
It's
this
Cowgirl.
isn't a strip club.
The number of strip clubs I've been into Nashville.
not
Let me just say the list.
Unbelievable.
No, I thought it was like cow something, but it's like an outdoor area. They have a really cool bar, and then they have like pizza bites. Oh,
I love that place so much.
Seth Worley took it to you. I blame him.
Is
it
it
wasn't a strip joint.
Is it a Nashville Pizza Hut, but just sort of a Nashville?
It was Domino's, and everybody had Western gear. So I apologize. And
It was
surprisingly,
just
I think I've had a
Halloween.
fever dream that started that exact same way.
hold on. Well, anyways,
Yeah. Well, thank you.
When you're editing this podcast and you figure out what that is, or I figure
Just
that,
add it
cut
in.
that in. So that
This will be at the beginning, just to kind of give people a taste of what they're in for.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just that. Just a minute
Just a
of us
lot
going.
of-
Is it the one that's
this
over?
is just one big no answer podcast.
Okay, so we always end with the lightning round, and I know and I know you have another workout. I know this afternoon that you got scheduled, so we want to get you back to that
Yeah,
as
well, I
quick as we
agree.
can. So buckle up because here we go. I'll ask the first one.
Okay.
What would be the character? All right, so let me set this up. This is more fun if I set up this way.
I love everything about a lightning round.
Okay. Good. Because this is a good one. This is good. You get a text
We'll see.
from a director you've always wanted to work with, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this afternoon, bing, you look down, you're like, oh my, he's like, Tony, I've got the role for you. Everybody's so excited.
Is that the text sound, or is what's your
he's
sound
got a
right now?
it's in LA. They have a different sound.
Mine
than
is.
we do.
Yeah, because the bing didn't sound right.
Thing didn't sound right.
I knew that.
It was and I've heard that my whole life. But you in that moment, then he sends you part of the script and you realize, oh no.
Mm.
What would that character be? What is the character you're like, oh please don't, I can't do that. That's too. And I don't mean like it's some like rapist. That's not but like what is the one you'd be like, oh, I don't know.
What if I was like, because that's fine. What I couldn't do,
or just you'd be like, oh, I'm not sure I can pull this off.
I don't know what that is, but let me tell you a quick story. So my wife cracks me up, and I remember coming to her once and saying, "Sweetheart, there's this role that I was offered, and I'm really nervous about it because it's really dark and I'm nervous." The only thing she said is, "How much?"
No.
And I said, "Sweetheart, I don't. That's not really the issue right now." She's like, "Yeah, it is, because we got a house to furnish.
Yeah.
And we can pay for therapy with that money. How much?"
We can pay for therapy with that.
And I was like, "Okay, well, we know where our priorities stand."
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be though. I mean, this is a classic thing for me though, because I think probably 20 years ago, and I know this is not a lightning round now, but 20 years ago, I was very drawing the line of like what I would do and what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Now it's really dependent on the story.
Wow.
I mean, it's really something that I thought I wouldn't do in the past. I really believe in the story and to tell that character truthfully,
Yeah.
I would, do it.
Do you think that's second half of life stuff?
I think it's. Oh, don't you love that Richard Rohr book?
Yeah.
Have you Falling Upward?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so because life is really messy, and if you're going to tell a story authentically, sometimes you're going to play a character that's very different than you.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Question number 2.
I love this question.
This one will be quick. Who's your favorite Alabama football coach?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You can use Google for 20 seconds if you need
No,
to.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
The only reason I'm going to say this is, I did know this, but I'm going to say Nick Saban because I just saw him in an Affleck commercial.
That's amazing.
And so him and I have common ground now.
No,
Yeah.
you do. You're both
Yeah.
Alabama people. What's the role you haven't played that you want to play?
Oh man, I'm always so thankful for gigs. The role I wouldn't have. I don't know. I mean, I think I really did enjoy doing sketch. I liked playing things a little more grounded. So, I think I've gotten that question so many times and I never have an answer because I think it's because I've had so much for weird roles that to pinpoint one, I just wouldn't know what that would be.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, dinner with 4 people. Who are they?
Alive or dead? Alive or dead?
Alive or dead? Dead, Dave Barnes. Dead, John McClellan. Alive.
How long have we been
dead
dead,
version?
though?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I'd say after this is over.
You meant career dead. Sorry.
Career dead. Yeah. Dave Barnes.
Okay, yeah. No, we can do that here.
Who would I have alive or dead? Dang, these are questions. Okay. I would say Henry Nouwen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because
That's a good one.
his writing is incredibly impactful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Keller. Tim Conway from Carol Burnett Show.
This is one of the best answers we've ever had.
And I would say the fourth would be, I met her, which is very exciting, but I would say they were on the same show, but I would say Carol Burnett.
A pairing that I would, there's maybe not an amount of money I wouldn't pay to watch these two people sit and just like riff would be Tim Conway and Martin Short.
Yeah.
Yeah. His or Martin Short as Jiminy Glick. Interviewing him, Tim Conway.
Would be unbelievable.
Jiminy Glick is, my wife and I laugh so hard at his, and it's not even his jokes that he says in there, it's how comfortable he is, how fluid that stuff comes out of his brain. It is fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
His interview with Bill Hader is one of my favorites.
Oh,
so good and just so awkward.
And
so
mean,
good.
so mean. Unbelievably mean.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the TV show or movie you wish you'd been in?
Oh man, okay. I wish I would been. I would say. I mean, I can only say because it's one of my top 5 is Punch Drunk Love.
Oh wow!
I loved. It's between that or Lars and the Real Girl because those are 2 movies that I just absolutely love, and to be a part of that world would have been
how
great.
Creative those 2 movies are.
Yeah, very very creative.
Gosh, I haven't thought about Punch Drunk Love in a while. I'm glad you brought that back up. That's good.
Okay, this is the final question.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Favorite White Lion.
White ladies.
White ladies of Orange County ice cream. They have pizza bites. I feel like it's outdoors.
They do. And they are in Western wear.
White ladies of Orange County is going to
Is that our title?
It is. Now it is.
It sounds like a terrible wine. Just
and
awful
it's on
white wine.
It's on one of the Bravo shows.
Oh,
for sure.
Gotta be.
It is.
Gotta be. If you wrote a screenplay about being a dad, what would it be called?
If I wrote a screenplay about being a dad, what would it be about? What would it be about, or what would it be called?
What would it be called?
It would be called, I think, Lifeline.
Oh, wow.
Lifeline.
It has been my and God, having Loy, I think, was a real just beautiful focus and lifeline for my life.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, you're a legend. We're gonna do a fake ending. Remember, John? Jason told us to do this.
That's
so we're gonna
true,
do like a.
Both of you guys have really held on to those follicles, those hair follicles, man.
Well, we're sponsored by Nutrafol.
Are you?
No, John, it's not. Don't even start. Okay. Don't even start.
Now they're gone. Look at that. There we go.
Boom.
Dude,
So
thank you so much for doing
you're
this.
the best.
Thank
you're
you guys.
woman.
I'm looking forward to hanging out in person now that I'm closer. So we got to do that.
Yeah. We'll make
Where
sure.
Where would you guys take me in Nashville if I were to come?
There's a place that has pizza bites,
Gotta be the
and
Pizza Bites.
it's a Western theme, and I can't remember.
So you want snap buttons on that button down. And some boots.
Yeah. But not many snaps. Just a couple.
Just for access.